Hey, Overcomer!
Hi guys,
I'm Jen,
Timothy.
and we're here today to actually bring you a bonus training. So, in this group, it's all about business, body, and branding. And so, today we have a bonus training about business specifically.
Right.
And who better than this guy? If you've been watching our lives, you know a little bit more about his background. So, with that said, what is it that we're going to be teaching and training on today?
That's something that Jen brought it up during our little conversations, and she asked, "Hey Tim, what do people need to know if they would like to start a business, or if they thinking about starting a business, or they are in the first stage of starting a business? What is one thing that you would like to share with them, to tell them?" And I share with her, "Well, Jen, there's so many when it comes to business. There's like so many nuance, so many. So, and then she said, well, what do you think one thing it's important for people to know?" And I'm like, well, the first thing that I think we should know is this, that before, yes, we have different ideas, we have different thought, we have different of like, hey, I should start this business, I want to do that business, I want to do this. The first question is like, what is it that you want? Ask yourself that questions. What is it that you want? Yeah, because if you don't answer that question first, what will happen is you will start what I call a little bit struggling in the beginning of like what you want to do. Because if you don't know what you want, and then you will kind of like have not quite idea of what you want to do. You might have an idea of what you want to do, but those idea might be come from somebody said it to you, or maybe something that you have seen, something you have heard, something that you think, or somewhere along the line that you thought there will be something that the market is need. But the first question that you must ask is, what is it that you want? Before you thinking about, should I start the business or should I not? Know what is it that you want, because it doesn't have to be 100% clear, but it could be just a little bit clearer when it comes to what is it that you want. I'll give you an example. If you say, oh man, I want to be successful. Okay, what does that mean? What does successful mean to you? If you say, well, I want to help people. Okay, got it. What does that mean? What does that mean by helping people? Because here's what I would say. All I want for you to think is this: business, it's what? It's transactions. When it comes to transactions, what is it? It's currency. What is currency? It's whatever is being exchanged, which is money. So your first answer should be, or ought to be, I want to make money. Now, you might have heard out there, people might say out there, all saying, well, if you love what you do, you will not work the day of your life. Well, we will talk about that more. What does that mean? Because that phrase alone, it make a lot of people have that idea. Oh, if I start a business, then because I'm going to do what I love, so therefore I don't have to work in the day of my life. That's not true. That was never true. You can ask every single successful person that they still work every single day. Now, the work might be slightly different. They might not be on day-to-day operation. That's what I call on the field level. They might be in the executive level now, that they have to make difficult decisions, and difficult decisions require a lot of work. So it doesn't mean like they're on the field, but it's require more work than what they used to by just selling the product or selling the service. Because now they have to make decisions that will impact everybody, like employees, the vendor, everything. So the first, again, go back. What is it that I would recommend first? Define what is it that you want, and somewhere, somehow come to an agreement with yourself that you want to make money. If that is not your objective of starting business, you will struggle. Now, here's what I will challenge you as well, is that if your objective is not making money, then why you want to start a business? What is the point? What is the point? You can say, oh, I want to help a lot of people. I want to do this. Yeah, that's what Red Cross are for. That's what Peace Corps are for. That's what a lot of mission works are for. They are in business of helping people. But then they still need what? Funding from who? From people that actually work. for people to actually donate the money into. So that's what I want to share to you. I know it might sound like different. It might sound like not what you used to hear, but that's the truth. That's the truth from a guy that basically built a business from conceptual up. And in fact, I just found out that the company that I have built just sold for not 10x but 12x. Yeah. So
how much did it sell for?
I think roughly about 120
million.
Yes, about 120
million.
Because in I think 2020 or 21 we were looking at 100 million, which is 10x for 80% of the company, but they want a full control of it, and we say no. But I think finally after I left, I know that we were looking for 120, but I think they come to that term after I think 3 years, to completely release the control of the company and let the other private equity firms to take over. So that, and then same thing, that's our first objective when we started that business, was to make money. And then of course, in order for us to make money, then we have to do all these things by helping people, all these things. Those are the activity, what I call the process to generate the revenue or the money that we want to make. So that's what my suggestion to you. And if you have any questions, please comment or ask away. If you have like, well, Tim, this is what I heard. Well, I disagree with you, and here's the reason why. I welcome all those debate, all those questions, or something that you may have heard different people. So anyway, so that's what I have.
And this is so good because, as we do these trainings, we're not here to just give one perspective. We're here to give both of our perspectives, even though his experience in business is so much more than mine. I hope you guys caught what I caught as he shared that. 2 things stood out to me, and one was that simple question: what is it that you want? And then you also mentioned the word agreement, and coming into agreement with what it is that you want. Which, here's what's wild. As you explained this to me the other day, there was a scripture verse that came back into my mind. And the scripture verse that came back into my mind was actually think about this. When Yeshua walked the earth, he literally is the Son of God, meaning he knows everything. Yet every single time he met anyone and interacted with anyone, what was the one thing he did? What did he often start with? His literal words started with the same thing: what do you want me to do for you? What is it that you want? Even though he already knew all the answers. So it's so dynamite what you shared from such a simple perspective, because that's literally how Yeshua walked on the earth. Think about it. The blind man, he literally said to him, even though he could make assumptions, he's blind. We can all see that he's blind. But even Yeshua didn't assume what he wanted. He still asked the blind man, what is it that you want? And what did the blind man say? He said, I want to see. He waited for the blind man to actually voice what it is that he wanted. Same thing with James and John. And same thing with the first disciples. What do you seek? Even though he already knew the answers, he still invited every single one of those people to voice it, to identify it, and to come into agreement with their own desire. And as I was just processing that, it made me realize that it invited people out of vagueness and into intentional agreement.
That's correct.
Heaven responds to spoken faith, declared desire, confessed belief, and articulated need.
That's correct.
Not because our Creator lacks knowledge, but because relationship involves participation. So he's inviting you to participate and co-create with him, and wants you to voice what is it that you want. So, like Tim said, if you go back to the beginning and imagine yourself here in biblical days, and the Creator sends his Son, he's walking on earth, and he happens to walk up to you, and he says, what do you want from me? That's the question I would encourage you to answer. That's the question Tim is saying, hey, this is the objective as you're starting, answering that question.
That's correct.
There is so much powerful alignment with the truth and the training
Right.
that you brought today.
Yeah.
So 2 perspectives,
Yeah.
1 training.
Yeah, it just, that's it. That's all, because that's just so important, because I see so many business and vendors and people I work with that fail, and they don't know why they fail. And then every time they reach out to me or anything, the first thing I ask is, remember the first day that before you start the business, what did you want? And the answer always, I want to make money. And then I ask the next questions, what happened? And you know what they all answer, what common denominator is? They say, well, I lost track of that. I become, oh, I want to help people. I become like, oh, I want to do this with you. So I lost that focus of my objective is to want to make money. Because at the end of the day, if your business doesn't make money, how are you going to help people?
So true.
How? like how? You know, I share that even in the field. I know, as blunt as I am in the management level, when I speak to general manager, assistants general manager, I say exactly the same thing. I tell them exactly the same thing. If your objective is not hitting goal, which is generate revenue, which is making the company money, this position is not for you. It's not, because yes, by helping other people, absolutely, that's what you sell your products for. Yourself, your product will help other people to fill whatever they need, whatever they want, and you see the gap. But at the end of the day, the money has to be exchanged, or the currency has to be exchanged. There's no such thing as like, oh, I'm going to do this for you. And because at the end of the day, you're going to go bankrupt yourself, and you're going to scratch your head 3 to 5 years from now and wonder why your company or your business doesn't blossom, doesn't make money, doesn't make the revenue that you want it to make. Well, because you lost track of what you want, or you haven't defined what is it that you want before you start the business.
Yeah, so good. So if you're listening to this training, and keep in mind, this is not live, it's something we're going to post.
Right.
So you could be answering this at any point in the future when you watch it.
Yeah.
If something has risen up in your spirit as you're watching, and you're like, oh, this is what I want. Yeah. This is what I would say to my creator if his son was in front of my face right now asking me this question. I encourage you, put it in the comments. Tell us. We want to hear. Your creator wants to hear.
Right.
It's needing your agreement.
Yep.
So step out. Put your agreement in the comments. Use your voice and let us hear it. Let us come into agreement with you, and we're excited to walk with you as we grow.
Yep. That's all.
Any last words?
No, that's all I have. Well, something just popped in my head is that, because if you don't make that agreement with yourself, how can somebody that sit in front of you that you present the products to will make that agreement with you to give you the money or whatever that you need for that service? Just ask yourself the questions anyway.
Yeah, it requires participation.
Yep.
So we're inviting you to participate in the process right now, and this is how it begins. We can't wait to hear what you voice.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us for our first training inside of this group.
Tip.
Yes, golden nugget, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm sure we'll come up with some naming.
Yeah, something would be. Yeah, anyway, so yep.
Alrighty, till next time.
Ciao.